Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey, backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
getting on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Schultz to the other, going to throw out left, intercepted! Diamador Lenore!
Whoa,
Dak
what a
Prescott
play!
just threw him the ball on the outcut going left to CeeDee Lamb. Diamador Lenore comes up with the game's first big play. Here's Prescott back, has time, throws out left, intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner. Jimmy Ward tipped the ball, and Fred Warner with the INT. They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown! San Francisco! He has thrown one, he has caught one, he has run one.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wayne Breezy, and the San Francisco 49ers just took a big fat L in Minnesota. That's right. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 23-17, and for some reason, they just can't figure out how to put stuff together to get the dub. They just can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. I can't figure it out for them, and they can't figure it out for themselves. I know there's a lot of blame to go around. People want to start with the coaching, players executing. It's just tough. It's just tough. Big Papa says, please give me something to hope for or at least some hope. Oh no, Bosa. Listen, there's good. There's hope out there. The Niners came out looking flat. What I saw from them was flatness, pure, straight up flatness. And for some reason, they looked tired. They looked like they had zero energy. They weren't flying around to the football. When I say they, I mean them as a whole. Not certain players, them as a whole. And they just look flat. They look flat. They almost look defeated before they even lost the game. And that's not the mentality of the San Francisco 49ers that I know. And that's not the mentality that you know. They look defeated before they even started the game. I don't know if all this, I don't know what could have caused it, honestly. Don't know what they talk about when they're not practicing and they're getting prepared for a game, but they just look flat. They just look flat. The offense, 3 straight passes. I think why not try to run the ball on one of the possessions? Why not try to run the ball on one of the, in that first series? When I look at the series, I'm like, dang, it was pass. It took Brock 4 passes, to get a big play, So I'm not sure if the game plan was different. I do know defensively Minnesota brought it, so I definitely want to tip my hat to the Vikings. If you're a Vikings fan watching this, congrats, man. Y'all came. Y'all were at home and y'all held it down. There's nothing else I can say. Y'all held it down. Y'all were flying around on the football field. Your team was making plays. Sam Darnold. Let me ask you this question. Does Sam Darnold really look better than Brock Purdy out there? He had some explosives, but did he really look better? I felt like they were identical. If you look at their stats, they were identical. Did Sam Darnold have better stats? Absolutely, but they just looked identical. There's a bunch of stuff, man. Bunch of stuff. You can hang your head on. 49ers throwback says, what did I say? I told you I don't feel good about Kyle going against Brian Flores. He still hasn't figured it out. Listen, I expect this same type of result when we play Steve Spags and the Chiefs. I just didn't have this as an L because I didn't expect the 49ers to come out flat. And let me be the first person to say that I love Jordan Mason, but let me remind everybody that he's not Christian McCaffrey. Okay? So this is not a shot at him, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. And I'm wondering a little bit how teams will prepare for the Niners without Christian McCaffrey. Knowing Christian McCaffrey can play, you still got to prepare for Christian McCaffrey. Now knowing that he's out for the next 4 weeks minimum, you don't have to prepare for Christian McCaffrey. So now you could prepare for Jordan Mason. So Kyle's going to have to figure out how to utilize Jordan Mason a little bit differently. Jordan Mason finished the game with 100 yards rushing and a touchdown off of, how many carries did he have? 20 carries. He still carried the ball 20 times. But guess what number they didn't get to? They didn't get to that 35-plus number in rushing the ball. Kyle Shanahan didn't use Deebo Samuel to the third quarter in running the ball. What the freak? I thought if it wasn't broke, don't fix it. What happened to that? I agree with you, man. He's a problem. He's a problem. So he says, Sam Darnold, unbelievable. I think we're all like racking our brains around the fact that it's Sam Darnold. But you know what Sam Darnold did today? He made plays, stood in that pocket, took off. Whenever the Niners made a mistake defensively, Sam Darnold took advantage of that. He was the better quarterback at taking advantage of the deficiencies on the 49ers defense. And there were plenty today. And he took advantage. And I'm just going to remind everybody, if Sam Darnold doesn't get that 97-yard touchdown throw, bomb on a 2-yard line, which the Niners defense can't ever give up. But if that happens, you take that away, it's a different ball game. A lot of people feel like Kyle Shanahan should have kicked the field goal now. I don't like playing that type of game. I don't mind Kyle being aggressive. Did I like the throw? It was on 1 or 2. Maybe you could have ran it. I don't know. Quarterback sneak it? Something. But we threw it. It was an incomplete pass. Kevin O'Donnell, he's a good coach. He beat the Niners. I bet you they'll probably suck for the rest of their games, too. Chiefs again. Y'all can't beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Yep, we lost again. Kyle play calling sucks. Needs to get off of. Debo's the only person making plays, bro. What are we talking about here? Debo was the guy on the field making the plays. 10 targets, 8 receptions. Y'all put some respect on Deebo Samuel's name. He was the most targeted guy out there for Kyle Shanahan, and he was coming through in the clutch. And there was a play where Brock Purdy threw that ball and tried to fit it in this through 4 guys, like window. I mean, if Debo would have caught it, at first I thought Debo, I'm like, Debo, you got to catch that. But then it was tipped. Brock was forcing the ball, trying to get the ball to his guy. George Kittle had 8 targets with 7 catches. So Brock was smart when it came to trying to fit the ball, trying to get the ball to his players. But there was some tight windows that throw to Kyle Juszczyk, the first interception, well, the only interception for Brock Purdy, that was a tight window. And it was kind of like behind Kyle Juszczyk. So it was just a tight window. You live with it, and you live with the results. I don't think he was on Debo's, I don't think that, but if that's what you feel, cool. Sid, cousin Sid, people keep saying Kyle Shanahan is the best out there, but the trend coming out of Minnesota by O'Connell and Flores for real. I don't know if there's going to be a trend. Sorry if I'm too optimistic for y'all. It's going to be hard for me to say that there's going to be a trend coming from this. I just think that Brian Flores' mentality isn't like everybody else's. And Brian Flores has a unique set of players. So maybe with his players and his mentality, he could do that. But not every team will be able to do that. Because I don't care what nobody say, the Jets got a better defense than Minnesota. But the difference might be the mentality of the defensive coordinator, if that makes sense, cuz. So I don't know if the blueprint is out, but I will say that I think that they're going to continue to stack the box, and Jordan Mason's going to have to bust his butt to get freaking 100 yards every yard per carry. And I know he averaged 5 yards per carry, but he's going to have to really go out there and bust his behind and trying to get these carries. Like, that's what I'm getting from it because they're gonna put 7 to 8 people in the box all the freaking time because it's it. So I'm hoping that's not the trend, and if it is the trend, good luck to everybody trying to do this. Maybe this is what Kyle Shanahan needs, so he can go and revamp some stuff just a little bit. But again, it comes down to the players. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to the players. So the players executing. What's up, Peachy?
What's up? Can you
now
hear
I'm
me?
just going through some of these comments.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Just going through some of the comments. How you feeling about the overall, taking the game? Like, what did you see out there that maybe somebody else didn't see?
I'm not sure because I'm just not getting in here. I don't know what you guys have already discussed. I will say
It doesn't matter.
that
What did you
the
see?
what did I see? The only thing that I saw was a mess. I saw the only great player in this game being Fred Warner, and that's it. The only one who apparently got off the plane, bus, train, whatever it was, Fred Warner. I saw our quarterback making a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes. I saw him missing quite a few open receivers, not going through his progressions. I saw the O-line not showing up the way that they were supposed to. So I'm not just going to put this on Brock not going through his progressions. I mean, there was a lot of times where I saw that he had to move around in the pocket more than I would like because the O-line broke down. I also saw zero run defense out there, which was really surprising because after last week, I thought our run defense had got better. Special teams was complete ass today. And I felt like that Trent didn't have his best day out there, definitely. Also, of course, his famous Trent penalty, of course, he's going to get that. But just overall, I just felt like that no one really played up to where they should have been, except for Fred. And if it wasn't for Fred, oh my God, I don't even want to know what the score would be, what the final score would have been without Fred. I felt like that Flores outcoached Kyle Shanahan by a mile. By a mile. And this is what, the second time that this happened? Because Flores was there last year, right? Whenever we played Minnesota last year,
Yeah,
same
but
thing happened.
I don't think he outcoached Kyle Shanahan. Definitely not by a mile. I don't know what games y'all be. Somebody tell me what games y'all be watching. Somebody tell me how two safeties
get game.
Okay.
I watched this game.
So tell me how two safeties getting burnt on a play is about Kyle Shanahan. Somebody tell me how that's on Kyle Shanahan. Because that ain't on Kyle Shanahan. That's on the defensive coordinator that nobody want to put underneath the bus because he Nick Sorensen. Who the fuck is Nick Sorensen?
Well,
I watched him
because I didn't even get to the defensive
but you said I didn't ask you to be finished. I'm going off of what you just said. You put it on Kyle because he's the head coach. But last year, when this happened, it wasn't on Kyle. It was all on Steve Wilkes. So how do we change the narrative? Because this was on Nick Sorensen, putting two young, experienced safeties on the best player in NFL football.
You're right.
So that ain't on Kyle Shanahan. Now, maybe Kyle couldn't figure out a way.
Kyle Shanahan. That's not
You
what
just
I
said,
Breezy.
You just said that. You just said
I said Flores.
You said he got the best of Kyle Shanahan. If that didn't happen,
him by a mile.
How did Flores?
I haven't even talked about fucking Staley and Sorensen yet, and about how shitty that defense. And yes,
you can't say that Flores. You can't say that Flores outcoached Kyle Shanahan by a mile when Kyle Shanahan didn't give up a 97-yard touchdown play. Yeah, when your team got the lead, you played different. Didn't we bust the Jets' ass last week? Because our defense and our offense had a lead, so we were just teeing off. That's kind of like how it worked. So you can't say that he was out-coached by a mile. This Kyle need to change up some coaching for sure. But if that one big play doesn't happen, it was almost like deja vu. Literally.
The whole damn team was out-coached. So let's put it that way, on both sides of the ball. Both of them. Because I was trying to get to the defensive side, which I already did, because I was talking about how the run defense was basically non-existent there and putrid.
The run defense became non-existent when they had the lead, for sure, because they kept Aaron Jones at bay. That motherfucker had 32 yards. You know who had 82 yards? The backup. When they had a lead and they were trying to run out the clock. Yep. So, yeah, that's crazy because the run defense looked gone at that point. But again, that ain't on Kyle Shanahan. That's that like this Kyle. And first of all, like first of all, I'm not a Kyle Shanahan homer, so y'all could get that out your mind. Clearly, y'all don't watch my shows.
Breezy's definitely not.
So that's number one.
Homer.
Number two. Number two. The offense couldn't get anything going because of the way that Flores was just sending this blitz, this one guy. It was literally one blitzer on certain downs. So, like, for some reason, the offense couldn't get into they couldn't get into any type of a rhythm.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to be mad at Kyle Shanahan, like, what are we mad at? Like, we got to be specific. So, what are we mad at about when it comes to Kyle Shanahan?
I think that Kyle's game plan, I didn't like his game plan that he had. I didn't like the fact that you're up here on the goal line and you don't run the ball. Like, you mean to tell me that Pooney and I can't think of his name right now. I've had so many shots. What would not be able to push a running back or just a player in general through there when you're right up, what were we, like at the 2 or something like that? Mm-hmm. And you call a pass play? Like, what are you doing? That is completely on Kyle Shanahan. Like, why the hell would you do that? You're right there. Like, since when have we done that?
So the play right before the play right before that, Jordan Mason got smacked.
Okay.
That's why he probably
understand that.
So if you understand that, then you know why he called the pass play. And we had the numbers.
It don't make no sense.
It does make sense because you had the numbers. Jawan Jennings was
like that. You only have to move it 2 yards.
Jawan Jennings was wide open. So Jawan Jennings being wide open and their defense made a play. At some point, you got to tip your hat to the players on their defense making the play. Kyle, we asked Kyle to be like, we got to make up our mind, right? We want Kyle to be aggressive, and then when he's aggressive, we mad because he didn't do what we wanted him to do.
No, because you are up at the goal line. You run the football.
There's a difference between being. There's a difference. You do know. There's a difference between being on the 1 yard line and the 2 yard line, right?
I understand that. I'm just saying.
No, you can't say you can't understand it if you're saying you're up on, because there's a difference between 1 yard and 2 yards.
I'm just saying that I understand the difference, but it doesn't mean that the 49ers have never done it before.
I didn't say that they didn't, but what if the team was prepared for it and you get smacked and then you lose?
Why
You're cool with
this dude dropping back at the 2 yard line trying to make a freaking play? Why isn't his coach fixing that so that either he can put it in or somebody else can put it in? You run the ball, Breezy. You run the ball right there. Like, what are we doing? Kyle, again, is outthinking himself. And I don't give a damn who calls me a hater. I don't care, because I got that a lot yesterday, and I don't really care about that. This is why I feel the way I do. Why are we going away from our formula? Our formula, when you are at like in the goal line area, is you run the damn ball. I don't care if it didn't work the last time. You do it again, because we can live more with an attempt at what we normally do to get the ball in the end zone than to freaking drop like what was that? Man,
it was a good defensive play. Like that's what it was. It was a great defensive play. Jawan Jennings
won because we should have ran the ball.
You can't.
That's all I'm saying. Should have ran the ball. Should have ran the ball right there.
So if we ran the ball,
always run the ball when we're in the goal line. We run the ball.
I could tell you don't watch 49er football if you want to say we always run the ball.
I completely watch.
So then don't say we always run the ball, because we don't always run the ball. No, we don't.
The goal line, Breezy.
We don't always run the ball. We don't always run. We don't always run the ball.
Okay, fine. Then 80% out of 20%, we run the ball. Because I promise you that we run the ball more than we freaking pass it. I can tell you that right now.
At the end of the day,
right now that we have more runs when we're in the goal line at between the 5 and the 1. I watch a lot of football. I know what I'm talking about. This 49ers team at the between the 5-yard line and the 1-yard line runs the football more than passing it, trying to make something happen like that. Like, why are you getting cute? Just run the freaking ball. That's all you have to do. Oh.
So we didn't do it, and then what?
That's right. You're right.
So you're saying that's when we lost the game?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's on Cott.
I'm asking you if that's when we lost the game, because that's on Cott.
There was more stuff than that. It wasn't just that. It was a lot of different plays. There was a lot of different plays that we did. You know, I just felt like that there was just a lot of mental mistakes in this game. The O-line was not as good as I felt like it should have been. I don't know why. That was kind of weird for the O-line not to be as great as they have been. But I did see our quarterback miss some players that were open because he's not going through his progressions. And I don't know if maybe that had to do with the O-line. Maybe the O-line was coming down on him. You're the film guy, not me. I'm just telling you as a fan watching what I saw. Because I just watch it from a fan's perspective, and then I leave it up to you to go back and watch the film and then to, come back and tell me all the things that was wrong.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying they use analytics, which is something that none of us use. None of us know about. So there's a reason why they passed it opposed to running it, obviously. Now, in hindsight, we're saying we should have ran the ball. But there's always the what if he got stuffed again. And then what? You would have said, oh, we should have passed the ball. So, like, at the end of the day, you got to count the number of people on that goal line that's looking to take away the run. Now, that doesn't mean that Jordan Mason wouldn't have got in. It doesn't mean that Brock Purdy couldn't have quarterback sneaked it. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying there's numbers. It's a numbers game. So I'm not blaming. If you want to blame that on Kyle Shanahan, that's your prerogative. At the end of the day, I'm more upset with Kyle Shanahan because he couldn't figure out nothing else. Never mind that. I was cool with the aggressiveness on that. Some people felt like we should have kicked the field goal. I feel like that's hindsight talk, though, right? That's hindsight talk. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with failing the attempt of the 4th down. What I'm not cool with is Kyle Shanahan not being able to figure out how to get his offense going, flowing, and taking control of the game.
I'm with you.
And that
we never really got it in rhythm.
And bingo. Now we talking. That's not all on Kyle Shanahan. That's on his players executing, because there was a bunch of plays, that the players just didn't execute, which would have worked. Like that play you're talking about right there was a surefire touchdown if the defensive linebacker doesn't freaking jump and tip the ball. That's what I'm saying. So maybe Brock could have threw it better. Maybe Brock, and see, I gotta look at it now. I gotta go back and watch it. Maybe it could have been a better throw, because there was a bunch of throws in this game that Brock didn't throw well. Bunch of them. Even the wide open throw to Deebo Samuel. I was talking about this on Bleacher Report. And Deebo he ran the route, sat in the zone, was wide open, had 2 safeties over top of him, and the ball was high. And I'm like, oh God, if Deebo misses this, he had to jump for it. If they would have missed that was a pick 6. They were right there waiting. Brock's got to calm down. I thought Brock wasn't calm. Like he didn't seem calm. He didn't seem in control. He seemed like out of sync. And that is when, remember I said to you, if we lose games, it's because the way that the defenses attack Brock Purdy. Yeah. And remember when we lost last year and he played, and I'm going to give Brock Purdy credit. This was not his worst game. By far from his worst game. He actually played well. He just made some mental mistakes, like you said. That throw to Kyle Juszczyk was probably slightly behind him to where Juszczyk couldn't reel it in. Is a tip pass, boom, boom, boom. The other was a fumble. He was trying to make a throw, and the ball slipped out of his hand. There was pressure there. So those are his 2 turnovers. There should have been more, but there weren't. There weren't more. It should have been, could have been, but there wasn't. So Brock, and this was by far nowhere near his worst game. He just didn't look the same. But it wasn't just him. It was 4 players to me. You said 1. You talked about Fred Warner. 4 players. Debo, Jordan Mason, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa were the only people I felt like showed up for this game. Only people. The offensive line wasn't the same. Too many early penalties. And that affects the game plan. Like, penalty, set first and long, opposed to, it changes up what Kyle has to do. That's why I know a lot of people be pissed at Kyle, and at times I would be too. But there's a bunch of stuff that happened in this game that Kyle had zero control over. A false start, legal procedure, 2 men line up on the field. I'm thinking about all the offensive ones. And it wasn't even that many. At the end of the day, it wasn't even that many penalties. It's just like when they happened, they were rained in out. The Vikings had 7 penalties. The Niners had 4, I believe, in this game.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a lot because they happened at the worst opportune time. Now, as far as what I thought the game plan should have been, it appeared that the Vikings couldn't stop the power runs, but they were ready for the outside zone runs. I don't know why we didn't run more of the power runs. And then we decided to go with Deebo Samuel in the 3rd quarter to run an outside zone run. And it didn't make any sense. So, yeah, that to me, that's where I'd be like, Kyle, like, why? Like, what was you thinking? But they utilized the quick throw game. Brock Purdy was getting off. The dude finished 28 for 36. He had 319 yards. He just had an interception, a fumble, and he was sacked 6 times. So like it wasn't that he played bad or poorly. He just made some rough decisions. And then he didn't have much help. I thought Jawan Jennings was decent when he was called upon. Obviously, George Kittle was a guy. Where's Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's call it like it is. Where's Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, where is he? I'm dying to know where Brandon Ayuk is because he's needed. And for some reason in this game, where Brandon Ayuk likes to live and Brock Purdy likes to throw, I think they took it away. I think that's what Brian Flores was prepared for. So yeah, you're right. Flores got Shanahan's number, like 49ers throwback says. Those are them 2 defensive coordinators. And who's the coach of the Seahawks?
The head coach?
What's their coach name?
Mike McDonald.
Oh, them games gonna be different too.
Michael McDonald, yeah.
Because if he has anything
because he's
close
gonna know
to that Baltimore Ravens game,
yep.
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. That's for sure.
Yes.
So I thought also, with them having, let's say, Clint Kubiak.
Okay.
I thought that right there, I just felt like that there was a lot of familiarity there. You can never say that word, regardless.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, this is what I don't like about Kyle. Okay? This is what I don't like. Damn, I'm trying to find 49ers throwback thing again. Oh, here it is. I started so I could. This is what I don't like about Kyle. You have 95 disciples in the NFL, right? You have to change up something.
Right.
Everybody's a carbon copy of what you do. And I think what frustrates like you and I is when we watch the other teams do what we should be doing way better. Example, Houston. example, all of these different carbon copy systems that Kyle Shanahan kind of like had to let go of because they got opportunities. It just seems like those other teams are doing what we feel like we should be doing that much better. Let me ask you this question, because I think I asked this before we got on here. Do you how detrimental now is this Christian McCaffrey injury to the offense?
Yeah, apparently it's a lot more detrimental than I thought, apparently, because I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do when it comes to running the football in this offense without having McCaffrey. So I guess we know now. So I'm hoping that they'll make, their adjustments and figure it out, bring some people in, whatever they need to do. But what I put on social media is like, you have this money, like you need to fix what's wrong. Like whatever's wrong, you need to fix it. Just like any other NFL team would do. They run into something and they realize that there's something going on that they need to fix. Or do I think things would have been different with him out there? Oh yeah, definitely. Because then you would have had two different run options. You would have had McCaffrey and Mason. And it just didn't go down the way that I thought that it was going to at all. And you could tell early that it just wasn't, it definitely was different. Absolutely.
Moving forward, I'm concerned. This is not about Jordan Mason. It's not about Jordan Mason. It's about Jordan Mason's ability to be able to do what Christian McCaffrey does. And I think Kyle's going to have to give Mason a game where he just lines him up outside, lets him go in the just do all the Christian McCaffrey. Kyle's got to give Jordan Mason the Christian McCaffrey package. He has to give him the package. If not, we're going to lose a lot of games like this.
Yeah.
Because if the teams aren't fearing Jordan Mason, and every time he gets in, remember this was my issue with him. I was like, yo, like they're going to know he's going to run it. So they're going to just stack the box. And
they have time to game plan now.
But if they continue to stack the box on him, he's not going to always rush for 100 yards, whatever. If they got better defensive lines and they're trying to stack the box, so it's going to get a little different. They got to utilize Mason in a different way in order for the defense to open up, and that is what makes Christian McCaffrey and his ability to actually execute the stuff so dangerous. It's his ability to be able to line up. You put a linebacker on him, he's beating the linebacker. You put anything on him, he's pretty much beating him down the field, right? And so I wonder if that's going to hinder Kyle Shanahan's play calling, because he's not opening up the package for Jordan Mason. If Jordan Mason is the number one running back, then let Jordan Mason be that guy with that package. And then cater some things toward Jordan Mason. Because if not, I'm telling you, the Rams got a great defensive line. We might not want to say they do, but they do. They getting beat right now, but they playing the Cardinals, right? They going to play us way different. So just because they look like trash against the Cardinals don't mean they're going to look like trash against the Niners. Guarantee you that's a game Sean McVay got circled on his book. So we gotta start figuring out some other ways to get Jordan Mason more active on the offense. I gotta check and see what he did in pass pro today, but all I know is they blitzed a hell of a lot. I was like, dang, another blitz. Remember, I was texting you. I was like, yo, they about to send them. Here they come. They're gonna rush for send one. Yeah. Boom, delayed too. Bam, and that dude came so fast up the middle. I'm like, oh shoot. Wow. So it's tough, man. Kyle Shanahan, I think overall, because he's the head coach, obviously he should take this. He's got to take it, the accountability, but he's also got to go to his defensive coordinator and ask him what's going on. Yeah. What was that? Because that play that you and I just argued about, if we score there, the 97-yard touchdown can get erased. Yeah. Whether we take the 3, whether we get 7. But but we got to be honest with ourselves. Name a team that's going to drive the ball down the field 97 yards. Like it's just unheard of. Statistically, it don't happen. Maybe 1 out of 31. And they were that one. So like I'm telling you, that's how they be playing. That's how they be making these plays, Peachy. They be using statistics opposed to using their gut. And our guts is like, yo, you should have ran the ball. But the stats is like, nah, because we did that already, and they already gonna be prepared for that. So if we get stuffed, now we gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna give them some type of juju or whatever. And there's no way in hell Sam Darnold should have been able to drop back and been able to get that ball off. Where was the pressure? Where was all the pressure?
Right. That was another thing I was going to bring up. That's why I said, like, I really didn't like finish with the defense, because I wanted to know where this was. Where's the rush? Where's the rush at? Where was that? I can't even get to Darnold. Darnold was just back there just having a field day back there. And I was just like, where was that? Like, I know that their O-line's good, but our D-line is supposed to be better. And I did not see that rush that I thought that I would see.
I think the Niners don't do what most teams do. So they really try to do what's on your shirt and rush 4. Like literally. And that's the thing. Like they're really trying to just rush 4. You know what I'm saying? And so because they want to make sure that they're playing the pass coverage. But my biggest issue on the 49ers defense, if we're talking about the defense, my biggest issue is third down. The Vikings were 7 for 12 on third down. And this is the second week in a row that we've allowed a team to be over 60% on third down. The Jets were 60% on third down. That's not a trend that I want. And it's like it'd be third and longs. It don't even be like third and ones, third and twos, third and threes, third and fours, third and fives. It'd be third and sevens, third and eights, third and 13s.
Third and 15.
Third and 15s.
Yeah.
What's going on with this third down defense? Like, what's going on? Like, why is it that we got a new defensive coordinator, but the same concept?
Exactly.
I'm not understanding that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not understanding that. So the Niners are going to have to figure out how to get off the field on third down in order to like allow their offense to kind of get out there in rhythm, because those third downs, it wears and tears on the defense later on in the game. It might not wear and tear on them right then and there, but later on in the game, that defense is a little tired.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is, I've seen this on social media. I see it everywhere that I'm looking or whatever. I know it's just week 2. I understand that. But what you guys don't understand is if you have tendencies and you have things that you're not repairing, your season can go downhill really, really quick. Like you have to figure this out. Like, it's week 2. We play the Rams next week. Just like Breezy said, the Rams are getting their ass handed to them right now. But that doesn't mean that the Rams are going to play us the same way that they're playing Arizona, because each team has their own tendencies. The Rams are going to game plan for us. And you have to get this fixed. Like, we can't just chill out and act like, oh, well, it's just week 2, so, we just have – no, because what we're doing is not working at all. So we have to change that. This is the perfect time to figure out what issues you have, whatever deficiencies you have, and fix it. Go ahead and fix it. Because after we beat the Jets, everybody's like, oh, everything is great, whatever. Even though people were coming out, the content creators like Breezy and others were saying there are things that the 49ers need to work on. Just because you have this victory, you still have things that we need to fix. We saw deficiencies in this game, that kind of stuff. So you have to get this fixed, because it can go down really fast. It can go backwards really, really quick. And that's the last thing that we want. We have to figure out what it is, and the team's got to fix it.
Ed says, some really bad situational football, picking up exotic blitzes. Brock had players in his face all game. Brock definitely tried to stay in that pocket to deliver some throws for sure. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to defend 5-on-4, and so when you look at that, when they grade it, they have to be very precise on how they're grading it, because if it was a blitz, it's tough to grade the offensive line to pick up who's picking up the extra defender if they don't got a running back there. But I guess for me, Brock was really good against the blitz last year, and this game he wasn't good at all.
Right.
And they didn't even all out blitz like they did last year. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They didn't even all out blitz. They literally blitzed one guy. So their team has changed. They're you know what I'm saying? Like the infrastructure of how they utilize their players are different. And that goes back to you saying Brian Flores. That dude is a Kyle kill. Like he's going to find a way to beat Kyle. I don't know what he gets out of it. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan did to him. Must be something back watched. I don't know. But he wants to beat Kyle. Him and Steve Spags. They like to beat Kyle, and they do it by being more aggressive. And that is my issue. Where's the aggression on the 49ers offense? Where was Trent Williams today? Trent Williams had to be the worst offensive lineman out there.
And that was
bad.
Had
to be.
Bad.
I saw him give up 1 sack, but somebody had a nerve to say he gave up 2 sacks. I didn't see 2 sacks. I definitely saw 1.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know. I don't know. I just want to know why he didn't block on that one play. So if he did give up another sack, maybe the pressure was there. But I'm trying to figure out on that sack that I watched, where was the blocking? Because it was like the dude just let him go.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought Brock was supposed to get the ball out of his hand quick. I don't know. But I'm trying to figure some things out. Gall says Brock was bad. Brock wasn't bad. He made bad decisions. Remember I said that last week, though? I said Brock had this one bad decision, but it didn't cost him anything because they didn't catch it. But today, he was throwing into some really tight windows.
Yeah.
And he ended up turning the ball over twice.
Yeah, this is another thing I was thinking about, went back and forth to social media people like this with Josh Dobbs being quarterback 2. So therefore being on the starting 53 roster, which means that if he was quarterback 2, then we could have also utilized his skill set that we had when we ran into problems, and Kyle could have switched it up completely on Minnesota, where they wouldn't even have been prepared for that.
Y'all got to stop, yo. We had Trey Lance. We had Trey Lance, and Kyle didn't want to use 2 quarterbacks. And Trey, in preseason, proved he get into the end zone, and then it was none of that. Kyle, remember? You don't remember Kyle saying, "I don't want to use 2 quarterback systems because it's too complicated." So I doubt Kyle would have used Josh Dobbs if he was quote unquote quarterback 2. That wouldn't have happened. That's not Kyle Shanahan's. Apparently, it wasn't his style then. I don't expect it to be his style now, and they wear the same numbers. So I'm damn sure no Kyle Shanahan wasn't going to let Josh Dobbs come in and do anything like that. It just wasn't. Now, if Josh Dobbs would have done it, that's a totally different conversation. But I don't think he would even allow Dobbs to come in. It wouldn't have been a play designed for Dobbs, is what I'm trying to say. That's not how he operated. Now, why not run a boot? If you don't throw the ball, why not boot it to the right, boot to the left? Why drop back and go for that quick throw, right there? Yeah. Maybe he could have got that, and then you live to the next play. Well, there was no next play because it was 4th down, but I don't know, man. Like I said, you said he should have ran it. Kyle should have ran it. That's what Kyle should have did. Unfortunately, he didn't. And the Niners on that next series, the defense gave up a 97-yard touchdown run.
Oh.
And I just want to remind you, like these quarterbacks, I thought Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold played exactly identical. Literally, they were like, it just looked like Sam Darnold was the better quarterback because stuff was going right for him.
Yeah.
But I'll read their numbers. Purdy, 28-36, 319, 8.9 average, a touchdown, an interception, long 28, 6 sacks, 101.3 rating. Sam Darnold, 17 for 26, 268 yards, 10.3 average, 2 TDs, an interception, 97 long, sacked 3 times, 109.1 rating. Those numbers are literally the same. Those are Kyle Shanahan quarterback numbers. Now you got to factor in when the Niners turned over the ball. How did the Vikings score? They got a block punt and had good field position all game.
So bad.
Can we talk about this block punt? Because I need to react to the block. What in the hell? Can somebody tell me how the punt was blocked in the first place?
Ooh.
Like, I missed it. I saw that we were punting the ball, and I put my head down and started writing notes on what happened that drive for my shows. Yeah. So, because it's a punt. We're going to punt it. We just going to punt the ball. What the hell happened? Who didn't block? Like, who missed the block for the guy to get right through to block the punt is what I'm asking.
I think who was. Oh, yeah. If anybody knows out there, you can put it up in the chat.
50. Robert Bill Jr. missed the block. That's what I thought I saw on the replay. I thought I seen that GFU. I thought it was 51. I just wanted to be sure because I wasn't paying attention. Al the Butcher says exactly. So with those stats, why didn't they win? Because the game plan was wrong. Now, I agree that the game plan should have been altered, right? But you got to factor in all the opportunities that the Niners blew and all the opportunities that the Vikings took advantage of. And that's why I felt like we didn't win. Because the Niners they should have scored on multiple opportunities and they just failed. Turnover, muff punt. We're not going to talk about Jacob Cowing. We're going to just give him a pass. Not on my show. He don't get a pass. Ain't nobody mentioned Jacob Cowing muffing a punt. We're going to focus on this block punt. I just want to know from you, why didn't Mitch Wisnowski touch the player?
I know.
Jack said he looked lost. He didn't look lost. He looked missing in action. Yeah. I need the Mitch mentality where he used to just tackle motherfuckers. Like, I'm going to tackle you. Yeah. I'm going to run as fast as I can to cut you. Hey, Mitch, you ain't even have to run. He was right there. He just blocked it. You just had to go. Whew. I can't figure out what that's that. You know what? That wasn't Mitch. That couldn't have been Mitch Wisnowski. I think Mitch been missing for a minute. That wasn't Mitch. That couldn't have been Mitch, right? That couldn't have been Mitch. That's not the Mitch we know.
I know. It was crazy.
Look. Quad, you logically, you're so correct. We know.
Yep.
Listen, Quad, you're 100% correct. The punter doesn't want to get hurt trying to stop a play. Quad, go back and watch that play. All he had to do was breathe his breath on the dude that just dove at his feet to block the punt. He could have touched him with his foot. He could have stepped on him. He could have kicked him with his pinky toe. He could have did anything just to make sure that the player was down. I think Mitch just didn't understand the rules of the game. I don't know. I think Mitch was lost in the sauce. Or like somebody said, he was shocked. I don't think that now, if he had to get up and make a tackle, I agree with this 100%. Punters be staying out the way. Most punters do. Mitch usually doesn't, though. That's the crazy part. That's not his MO. You know what I mean? That's not even Mitch's it's not his MO. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the other special teams botch play. Oh God. So Jacob Cowing muffs a punt. Isaac Yadam saves it. He saves it. I don't see no Jacob Cowing slander on the internet. I'm kind of confused.
You're right. I haven't seen it very much anymore.
I'm kind of confused. Listen, Viking Jerome, I said if you join this show, I would tip my hat to you.
Yes.
Congratulations to your Vikings fam. Y'all came in. I keep saying we came in and y'all handed us a beatdown. I felt like they beat us down. I felt like they beat us down mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Give me some other Lees. They beat us. They did. They had control of the whole game, even though the Niners dominated in the clock.
This right here, yes, 100%. I did forget about Yadam and what he did in this game. He also, I feel like, played really well in this game.
I don't know what y'all watch. That motherfucker was ass in coverage. Did he save some fumbles? Cool beans. But when he had to play defensive quarterback, he was terrible. He was so confused and lost. So yeah, we could praise him for sure. For sure. He gets it. But man, he also get the boos. Cause he was gone. Bruh, how you don't know what to do? Like, you the vet. How you don't know what to do? It was third downs. Nobody covered the flats. Did we watch the same game? It was a bunch of first down completions because the flat was wide open. I wish Madden would let me play with my flat be open. I'll throw it there every freaking time. Mm-hmm. It was like, yo, they were miscommunicating, and he was in on all them joints. So, yeah, he did some stuff for sure. He did. Give him his credit. He made a big play last week, couple plays last week. Mm-hmm. But I think he's a little worried. I'm a little worried about him in coverage, man. I'm worried about that whole daggone secondary in coverage. It's snap. This was it. The secondary looked like they weren't speaking the same language.
Yeah, it was weird. They were literally out there like looking at each other like, oh, is that on you? Is that on me? Like, what is it?
You want me to get that?
Literally watch it right. You literally watched them do that.
You got that guy. All right. Like, hike. Oh, shoot. Like, yo, how do you not know what you got to do when you out there?
On offense, there was a couple of those out there. Like, oh, am I not supposed to be in this position? Like, what are we doing? What's going on out here? Like, you guys are not prepared for this game. I know, we had a short week because of whatever, but man, it wasn't that damn short. Like the fact that people were just like, oh, I'm out of position. Oh, all right, hold on. I'm like, what is going on here?
Listen, we gave up 7 third downs. They attempted 12 of them joints.
That's so bad.
That's a lot of third downs.
And our allowed yards, didn't they say that that's like the most yards that we've given up in like a long, like on defense? I think it was like 400 and something allowed yards or something that we gave up. And that's like the most we gave up in like a long time or something like that. I think I heard one of the announcers say that.
We gave up 403 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, we put up 399. We put up more yards than they did. It was just that Debo screen bullshit at the end of the game. Like, he lost 10 yards, like lost 8 yards. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's the end all be all for the Niners, but they got a lot of work to do.
Right. But the thing is that you can't like leave this game and not feel like there's so much work that needs to be done. That's my thing. If you lead this game and you figure out, what you need to do to try to fix this, then that's great. Week 2 was, will just be a blip and that'll be something that happens. Hell, it's Minnesota. We haven't beat them since 92 anyway. So it's just, so it nothing new, same day, everything. As long as you are able to fix what is wrong, when you go back and look at this film and you're like, oh, that ain't gonna work. We're going to do that, maybe that kind of stuff. That's the point. Right there.
That's a good point. Like, and that, take your L's now, take your lumps now, L's, take them now, right? I'm not saying that this is a meaningless game because you want to win every game, but maybe this is going to be good for the Niners. But they gotta figure out, why do we always go on the road and play flat? And that, wait, PG, in certain places. Because when we go on the road to Levi South, it must be home. They don't play flat there.
Right.
They don't play flat at Lumen Field. They don't play flat in the games that do matter, that mean something. You in the division, you in the playoffs. And I think that's what it comes down to. Now, do the Niners want that first place seed? Maybe they don't want the first place seed. Maybe they're like, maybe we just need to continue to play football so that way we don't get out of rhythm, out of sync. But offensively, I'm Tech. This is where I have issues with Kyle Shanahan. Okay, so y'all have issues with Kyle Shanahan off of a play call. Nah, I'm cool with that. This right here are my issues with Kyle Shanahan. Because it was like a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and what the fuck? How we go 2 for 10? How are we 20% on 3rd down, Peach?
Yeah, that's so bad today.
These are my issues with Kyle Shanahan.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gents, I love our team. I love the players. I love the coaching. I have questions about going 2 for 10.
Yeah, that was bad.
2 for 10. I'm okay going 1 for 3 on 4th down. That's aggressiveness. But on 3rd down, those are musts. You need to get way above that 60% number to be efficient and win games. 2 for 4 in the red zone, 50%, cool. But 3rd and down, we were 2 for 10. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Al says, Wayne, when we lose, why we score 17 and then when we win it's over 30? We didn't even get to 30. Shit, we didn't even get to 30 points. I never thought about that. Yeah. Last year, that's every time we lost, it was like we could only score 17 points.
That's right.
Good question. Wayne, help me understand what happened to the explosive plays. I meant TDs. Listen, I would have took an explosive play on the ground. I'd have took an explosive play in the air. I'd have took an explosive play in water. They were just they were limited. I have to go back and watch it. I think we had like 2 or 3 explosive plays. I think 1 to Kittle, 1 to Debo. Right. We had a couple explosive plays on the ground. At the first, Jordan Mason at one point was averaging like 10 yards a carry. So there was explosive plays, but I got to go back and watch the film.
Yeah.
The red zone, that's another issue with Kyle for me. Now, I don't know. That's why I asked you how detrimental is Christian McCaffrey's injury now. Because when the Niners are in the red zone and he's on that football field, we almost 100%.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So since we're playing the Rams next week, then I thought I should let you know that Cooper Kupp is hurt bad.
Yeah, I just seen the injury.
So
we're praying for Cooper Kupp, man.
Since we're playing him next week, prayers are going out to Cooper Kupp, but it's bad. It's his ankle. So we'll see what happens. They're already without Puka until like week 9. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, just send up your prayers because, it's bigger than football, as we all know. So,
do we press the panic button? That's the question.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
This is an overreaction show for those that are this first time ever watching this. This is what we do. We lose. We are panicking. Where's the alarm? Like, we got all the sounds. You know what I'm saying? We got all this. We got that sound too. But we be like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So no.
I think what made me more mad than anything else, I think, was Jettas went out of the game. And for all you guys, that's Justin Jefferson is who I'm talking about. And I thought, okay, he's out of the game, so maybe, we can get our ish together.
Well,
that's what I thought.
Nah, because who did I tell you to? I said Jalen Naylor. I've said that name all week long. Speed kills. I don't care what nobody says. Speed is where the Niners are going to struggle. They're not fast back there. They just allowed him to get open down the seam, and he was just wide open. It was a throw off the back foot of Sam Darnold, and it was a dot. What can you do? If you're not rattling Sam Darnold up and you're not getting to him, which should have been probably one of the number one game plans.
Yes. Yep.
Because he only attempted that bomb down the field. It was like a 60-yard pass or 50-something yard, and then he ran the other.
Yeah.
I just think that, moving forward, like, Kyle has to use this game, this blueprint, and say we can never go back to this again.
Right.
Kind of like how he did last year against Minnesota. Like that all-out blitz stopped after that. There was no more zero blitzing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't know, but you know, to come back to fruition full circle before we jump off here, because I need a fucking break to this team. But we'll be back tomorrow night. Wayne Breezy show tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. We'll be back talking 49er football for sure. But before we end, it's just like, you know, the Niners, they just do dumb stuff.
Just
Silly stuff.
Right. Right.
Like self-inflicted wounds. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like Breezy said, you know, tomorrow we'll have the Wayne Breezy show, and we'll be discussing this as well. And Breezy will be on there, chopping up with you guys at 11:30 Eastern, it'll be like 8:30 Pacific. So if you can tune in, that'd be great. And then of course, you know, you'll have the BAM show, which will be coming up. And then at night you'll have Nitty Gritty Niners, where we will go through this again, and I'll have more stuff to say, because I want to watch the pressers so I can see like how they felt about it. And then, you know, Kyle, after he you know, will say, you know, well, I haven't looked at this and I haven't looked at that. So once he looks at it, which is normally like Monday, when he comes back and he has another one, you know, maybe we'll be able to decipher kind of what he's looking at and see what he saw was the biggest problem or whatever. That's normally how it goes.
That is how it goes. Guys, before we jump up here, tomorrow is Jax Knox's birthday. Did she change her name? She mad because they lost. Jax Knox.
So she took the 49er. Jax, no, you can't do that.
I thought her name was Jack 49er Girl.
Right.
She done switched it up.
Off the 49ers already. So Jax done quit on her team already.
Guys, let's wish Jax an early happy birthday. All right. Happy birthday to you, Jax. I hope you are going to find a way to enjoy losing today, because that sucked. So hopefully, at least they didn't lose on your birthday, which would be 10 times worse.
Right, that would have been worse if it had been tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey, there's always a bright side. One day, when I become famous, I'm gonna do a show called Breezy's Bright Side, and it's gonna be about just bright side of life, whatever. Because I always got a bright side. So the bright side is they didn't lose on your birthday, but they also didn't win it for your birthday. So listen, Niners need to get back into the lab. They got to travel again. They got to head down to LA, and they got to find a way to get a win and become 2-1.
This right here. That's what I'm talking about. What a way to end the show.
This isn't, you know what, Snap? This don't, can I be honest? I don't give a fuck about, it doesn't hit me right, because we lost.
But I'm telling you.
No.
A
Listen.
lot of powerhouses went down. Detroit went down. Dallas went down.
I think Ravens lost. The Ravens.
Baltimore lost to the freaking Raiders at the very end of the game. That game was crazy.
And the Chiefs about to get their ass whipped by the Bengals.
Which I'm so glad about.
Listen, she's right.
Exactly what I had told my son. I told him, I said, look, the only thing I need to happen
Philly
today
gonna lose to the
the
Falcons.
Bengals
Watch.
to whip the Chiefs.
And the Philly and the Eagles gonna get beat by them dirty birds. Tell your son I said that.
They have a really good secondary.
And no AJ Brown.
He said that. He's very nervous about it because there's no AJ, which means that their target is going to be who? Devontae Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Saquon is not going to be able to get off the way that he did before because unlike other teams, Atlanta has a pretty decent run defense. So they're going to be able to get to Saquon. So I don't see Saquon like running all over the place like he did overseas against Green Bay. Like I literally see him coming back down to earth and everything like that. And but yes, it was great. And I have Dallas fans that I've invited to watch this, so I'm sure that they're mad. They're just not commenting right now. But I mean that. Like if we're gonna lose, at least all the powerhouses lost today. I'm Just saying.
That's a bright
that
side.
Was crazy.
That's a bright side. Miss Debbie says the team played like they were jet lagged. This is exactly what I saw. It was like they weren't there, right? And sometimes to win game, you know what I think the 49ers issue is, and I might talk about this tomorrow on the Wayne Breezy show, or maybe or save it. I don't know. No, I'll recap the game on the Breezy show. But nitty gritty, the 49ers don't know how to win gritty.
Yeah.
Because they're too pretty of a team. They got to get dirty, man.
Well, we used to be able to win gritty.
Well, then they need to get back into that. They need
2012, 13, 14 49ers with Willis and Bowman and all those guys. We knew how to win gritty then.
Well, that's a long time from now. Football has changed. The rules have changed.
I'm aware.
Plays have changed. I'm just talking about winning gritty now. The Niners need to figure out how to win gritty now. Like back then, they got to figure it out. And this would have been a gritty game. They were down and they fought. But if they could have recovered that onside kick, they had potential. I believe that they would have found a way to win the game. But because they couldn't recover that, they just couldn't come out and close it. So if you're a Vikings fan watching this show, again, we toot the horn, tip our hat to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Too pretty to play gritty. The results for sure. So tomorrow that's what will be our nitty gritty topic, man. The Niners lose a gritty game. They can't find ways to win gritty games. I wasn't trying to get at you for this, bro, because no one hates Dallas more than Wayne Patrick Brown.
Exactly.
It's just that we lost.
Yeah,
so I can't talk.
It would have been a whole lot more sweeter if we had won.
Right. So I'm not even gonna hit him up because we lost.
Because then we would have been able to talk ish about all these other powerhouses that went down today, like Detroit and Dallas, and all these. But Dallas just, man, it was like Alvin Kamara burnt them for 4 touchdowns. It was just a bad.
Oh dang! Yeah, I wasn't keeping up. I was
he got him for 4 touchdowns.
I was too into our game. 49ers throwback says we will still beat Dallas 100%. How many points did the Saints put up on them? Because we gonna try to outdo that. And it's at home.
They put down.
And it's Sunday night.
Yeah, it was bad.
44. The Saints put up 43 and 44 points and back-to-back weeks.
Because if Kamara had 4 touchdowns, and that's already 28. So
all right, let's leave this show with saying this. Mike from Facebook says the play calling by the coach was horrible today. We could all touch and agree with that. Yeah. I mean, you needed to feed Mason. I don't know why we weren't feeding Mason. I say feed Mason until Mason say I can't be fed. I'm full. I agree with that, right? More in the first half, but they kept going back to the pass. I didn't even understand the 3 straight passes to start the game. That was my issue at the beginning of the game. I thought Kyle would adjust. Mason finished with 20 touches. It's 8 shy of what he had last time, but it was a different game. We were losing, so it's different when you're losing the game. I agree that the play calling was terrible at certain points. I also believe that there was poor execution by some of the players, and overall the offense was just they couldn't figure out how to play gritty enough to beat a team that's playing gritty. Yeah. So in order to beat, you know how they say if you wanna beat the gritty team, you got to get down and dirty. You gotta go more gritty than them. That's not the Niners. They want to win everything 30-purdy. They want to win everything pretty. They want to win nah. Football don't work like that. Because you're gonna play a team that's tired of getting bullied and is gonna come out and just punch you in the mouth, punch you in the gut, eye gouge you. That's gritty. That's dirty, gritty, all the same. Yeah. And the Niners gotta figure out how to play that style of football. They do. And if they do that, they won't lose certain games like this, in my opinion. They won't.
Yeah. I would like to know what happened to our O-line. That's what I would like to know.
All the sacks weren't off the offensive line. So the offensive line also allowed the 49ers to rush for over 100 yards. So it wasn't an overall bad offensive line. It was mistakes, which forced the Niners to be down in the distance and they couldn't run their certain plays or get into any type of rhythm. That's what penalties do. Penalties interrupt the rhythm. And then there were times where the offensive line did get beat on certain plays. So was there any holding calls in this game for the offensive line? I can't remember. I feel like there weren't.
I don't believe there was.
So you can.
I think they were like false start. I believe
they got better there.
Yeah.
49ers have 4 penalties for 30 yards in this game.
Yeah.
4 for 30. I think they have 5 total, but one got
more. But they
overturned.
really did.
I mean,
it's really crazy
declined
because it seemed like that they kept calling flags and they were all on the Niners, but in all actuality they weren't.
Yeah. Now, Joe, I agree. Trent was probably the worst offensive lineman today. I don't know if he's just tired, out of shape, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was gonna. Bo, thank you. That's why I was trying to say that. I would say that they blitzed a lot. So I got to go back and watch and count when those sacks happen. Was there an extra defender coming? If so, you can't blame the offense. It's not on alignment.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, even though he was sacked 6 times, they all weren't on the offensive line. Trent is rusty, and Ayuk is even rustier. And it's crazy because Trent had a phenomenal game week 1, but now you could tell he's not in that football. Like, he's got to get into football shape. He's not old. He's just got to get into the shape. He's got to get into the shape.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch the pressers so I can see what his leadership is like. I think Brock Purdy is a phenomenal quarterback, and he just has to continue to grow and learn from his mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Learn from his mistakes. And if the 49ers run 35 times, they win. They ran the ball 24 times.
So before we get out of here, I would like to also say, thank God that Nick Bosa is good and that everything's good with him. It was just a cramp. He needed to go get IV, everything going on, but everything's good. Other than that, I don't believe anybody came out of this game that was hurt or anything like that, which is always fantastic when you can have your whole entire squad healthy after, a game like that. That you can, and we send up our prayers to Jefferson. I think it's just a quad thing, so they feel like he's going to be okay. They're going to rehab it and stuff, and he should be good to go next year. So the fact that there was no injuries in this game, there wasn't, that whatever, we should definitely be thankful for that because we're going to need everyone to finish out the season. So absolutely, we're good about that.
I'm gonna be optimistic. We ain't got no injuries that we know of. But for some reason, the Niners, 3 days later, they be having a limp knee or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
I'm just playing around, but it'd be weird. It'd be like, oh, Christian McCaffrey got a calf strain and now his Achilles is effed up. Huh? What the fuck? Wow. And then, never mind. It's cool. I'm not going to get mad. Corporate Biz, Skol, love, good game, y'all. Appreciate you, fam. Congrats on the dub, man. Do. Good luck to you guys for the rest of the season.
To all the Vikings fans that are out there that are watching. You guys earned the win. I mean, it wasn't given to you. You earned it. And so congratulations, because this is not this type of place. This is a safe space. So we invite all of our enemy territory to come and be in our chat and talk their mess whenever
especially when we lose.
Right.
When we lose, it's free reign. Just don't call nobody out their name and everything be all good, But I told y'all to come in here.
Yeah.
We should have won this game. We should have won this game by 30 points. We should have won.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Didn't put up the dub.
That's right.
I'll find some time to be back. Don't forget to celebrate Jack's birthday on tomorrow. Send her a happy birthday shout out or something. Whatever. I'm going to bed. Isn't it early? Oh, it's early. I don't care. I'm going to bed. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Nitty Gritty Niners Talk. We out this joint. Peace. Hey.
Breezy. Gritty, this that Niners Mo's nose.
PG, it's about that time. Everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's knows Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you Nine and Talk. We two gorilla silverback, nah, silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time, you know, we grindin', I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Moles, Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.